Okay, I'd like to call the select board meeting, special meeting Tuesday, January 13th, 2026, 4:30 p.m. in the Great Hall. And on the agenda, our first thing is public input. Anybody want to talk to us right now? Probably not. Oh.
Good afternoon instead of good evening. That's a nice change. I'm Susan Bunting, resident of Wolfeboro since 1985. I'm here to say something nice for a change. I really want to thank Brian for stopping by the community center yesterday. A number of us had a lot of questions about the warrant articles. We don't understand the process. We didn't understand what the original warrant article meant. And so we had pummeled him with questions, and he called me back today. And I just want to make sure, I'm going to give you copies of the questions. I know you can't respond, but at the point when the warrant article is up, if you would answer these questions for the public, I think it would really be helpful. And these were the questions. Now I understand that there are two warrant articles, not just one about the renovations to the community center. And I didn't understand them, and Brian thankfully explained to me. So why are there now two warrant articles regarding the renovation of the old Firehouse Community Center? We didn't understand why folks couldn't just donate and give it to the town of Wolfeboro and you put it in a reserve fund. I do understand that now. It's quite complicated, and I hope you will explain it. Secondly, we had questions of if people donate before the March town meeting, when the voting takes place, what happens to the donations if for some unimaginable and unthinkable reason voters vote not to accept these private donations to renovate the community center? Because our goal, albeit ambitious, is to raise that $500,000 before the March meeting. Thirdly, who is going to be the general contractor or clerk of the works who will be responsible for both the construction excellence and prudent fiscal management and oversight of the project? So these were questions we had that we put to Brian. He very kindly answered them for us, and I have copies for you also.
Thank you.
Answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Susan.
Okay, moving on to ratification of AFSCME contract impact negotiations. Jim?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, so as you're aware, for the better part of 3.5 months, we were involved in impact negotiations related to the fire department taking on ambulance services. This is an ask for staff to do items which is above their current assignments. We also had no mechanism for compensating advanced level EMTs or paramedics. So we undertook that, negotiated in good faith with the union. I think we found a pay matrix which is a happy medium of where they wanted to be, where we wanted to be, and where the state averages land. It also does give the chief a little bit of latitude in hiring seasoned paramedics and advanced level providers so that we have some people that we may be able to bring on with a greater skill set than somebody who has just completed that training. Other than that, the bulk of the work conditions do remain the same. It is a 2-year contract. You do have the costs in front of you. For 2026, it's $96,104. Of that, $73,586 represents wages for, I believe it is 13 people, and $22,508 for benefits. In 2027, the incremental increase will be $22,094 in wages and $6,761 in benefits. I do think it's a good agreement, and I'm hopeful that you move forward with ratification at this time.
Okay, any input from the board? Somebody want to make a motion to approve the ASME contract?
I'll move that.
And I'll second that.
Any discussion?
And I think, am I correct? So just for the public, this will be a warrant article.
Correct, it is
So
a warrant
we're
article.
going to have to move it to the warrant and then vote?
Yeah, so this is to ratify the contract, and then when we are into the warrant articles, you will vote to approve the contract and then to move it to the warrant. So there'll be
Okay.
3 votes technically on this
Okay.
because
I
you
just
got to
wanna
approve
make
the
sure.
contract first.
Everybody understood what we were doing?
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next, Jim, you going to start on the warrant articles?
Sure thing. Sure thing. So you have an updated packet in front of you. Some of this stuff actually came in late this afternoon, so related to the petition articles. But there are a few that you, as a board, have to vote on as we navigate through tonight. We talked about these at the last meeting, however, Dave was not here, and we felt it important that Dave weigh in on this so we have the full board buy-in. So the first article is fire rescue ambulance staffing. This is to hire an additional 4 firefighters and EMS personnel effective July 1, 2026 at an estimated cost of $184,509. The benefits associated with those 4 employees is $170,520, which includes health care, retirement, FICA, and workers' compensation. Operating expenses for the new hires, such as turnout gears, radios, et cetera, $104,856, and the fully equipped new ambulance, $625,000, for a grand total of $1,084,966. This also has an impact on future budgets. We have calculated what the 2027 costs are for wages, $341,440, benefits, $333,079, for a grand total of $674,519. This does contemplate the new wage schedule, so that is factored into this for the ability to hopefully hire some paramedic level providers. Estimated tax rate impact in 2026 is 22 cents per thousand. Estimated tax rate impact for 2027 is 13 cents per thousand of assessed valuation. The chief does have a couple of grants out there for an ambulance and for staffing. We will not know that for a period of time, but if we do become awarded one of those grants, obviously that'll offset the impact to the voters. I can try to answer any questions you have, and the specifics can probably be answered by Chief Zadi.
Questions from the board? No, we've been over these, but
Yeah. So,
numbers keep,
yeah, Paul and I lived this through the ad hoc committee, and we've been talking about this for 3 years. And the only quick things I'll say is, if you look at the total of $1,084,966, that's the cost of a contract. And if you look at the, for 2027, the wages and benefits, $674,519, again, that's less than the cost of what our contract will be. We'll be getting some revenues from this also. the expense is in the capital to start, in the 2 ambulance and in the hire of the employees, but in the future, we're going to save money and we're going to have safety in our system, knowing that we're going to have an ambulance system going forward forever, that we won't have to worry about our contracts expiring and our service providers leaving.
Linda?
Yeah, this question is for Jim. We talked on Wednesday about there was a certain amount of the employees who we brought on board in 2025 whose salaries will not be part of the operating budget, the default budget. And were you able to get me that number?
So Linda, I actually completed the default budget today.
Okay.
So that number will be in your packet for next week for consideration of the default budget, broken out line item by line item completely. I don't have it
Okay,
right.
that's all right.
Well, I do. I have a screenshot of it, but I don't have it right handy.
Okay, but we're going to get that and the public will know what that is.
Yep.
That's what I'm looking, okay.
Because we only were able to tie into the default budget those monies that were appropriated last year that were assumed to be rolling into the 2026 budget. So those are calculated in to the default.
Okay, when I get that.
John?
So, all in all, I've never really supported this. I don't believe we ever really went out to the provider and said, where we said to them, show us how much it's going to cost to make you happy. I said to one of my colleagues, I said, look, if we gave them $500,000 to pay for their employees instead of us having to pay for those employees, their retirement, and all their benefits, I said, we'd be way ahead of the game. And I know I'm going against the grain, but all in all, I've never supported this article. I think it's a little disingenuous to say we're going to save here, because if you look at the number, 2.3 million, that's 10% of our total $22 million budget if you took out the electric department. So you got to understand going forward, I never saw the document that said, Stewart says we're going to do this. What I heard was, well, they're gonna get out of the business. I don't know if we ever went to them and said, what will make you stay in the business? So for me, I'm a no.
Paul?
And I'm a yes. We started the project learning, and I think it's still happening. We started this project learning that ambulance service providers in the state of New Hampshire were getting out of the business for the short-term transport piece, picking you up here and taking you to Huggins. They still want to be in the business for the long transport piece, taking you from Huggins to Mass General in Boston. That's a pretty lucrative, I think, business. But we found out that there were a lot of them bugging out, getting out of the business. Why? It's a math problem. They can't make any money at it. They really can't. Medicare reimbursements on average, Brian, correct me, like when you put private insurance, corporate insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, you roll it all up, the average reimbursement after uncollectibles was $400, $350.
Yeah.
Some, I'm going to use the word de minimis, some small amount of money. When you figure out what it costs to actually build one of these things, an ambulance business, the amount of money and the amount of runs that we do in this town, you quickly find out that you can't make money in this town running an ambulance business. You can't. The costs are greater than the revenues. And there's no amount of rate increases you could do to make that thing tick and tie unless you want to have a $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 ride if you bust your shoulder over at Pop Whalen. So we saw a trend that said this does not look favorable for long-term sustainability of private ambulance service businesses. and that trend actually continues. And so I looked at this and I said, we have one or two questions. Do we want to be in the ambulance service business does the town need ambulance service? And this predates John. This board last year said, hell yes, we are going to be in the ambulance business by hook or by crook. We did say that. So we took that decision and said we want to be in this business for public safety purposes. The math doesn't work. And Brian's comment about saving money, he and I debate whether that, how that works. This is going to be a cost to the town. No question about it. This is not a business where you can say we're going to make a couple of bucks. It's not going to happen. But that's not the reason I support it. I support it because we want to have a high-quality public safety asset in this town. Fire, police, and ambulance service. And I appreciate and I respect John's, point of view. But everything I've looked at says to me, we're not going to get anybody to stick around. And this isn't disrespectful to your words, John, but saying to somebody, how much money do I have to give you to not leave? That's like, I'm not familiar, I am familiar with that technique, but it's not a lasting thing because the next year the price just goes up. So I'm on the other side of John's point. I support it. And I think what we're doing here is a smart thing to do for the town.
Linda?
Yeah, I went at it and looking at it in a different way. I wasn't on any of the committees. I waited for the reports to come in. I saw my first report on the town taking it over from the town manager. Then I saw one from the fire chief. We went out and hired MRI to do an analysis, and then we had an ad hoc committee. All four committees, all four presentations said we're better off running our own ambulance service than contracting. So I'm in support of the warrant article from my analysis from reading those four different reports.
One more.
John?
So what we know is the track record is about 700 to 800 trips. If you just took the math of $2 million and divided by 800, that's $2,500 a trip that me and you are paying for that transport. Mm-hmm. So then when you get paid back from the insurance company or whatever, and they're not covering that, it's not a savings. It's actually a loss. So we are going to be taking a loss. But like you say, it is a service. It all depends how much the people of the town of Wolfeboro want to subsidize rather than listen to the people and say, this is the good deal for you. And I respect them for that.
Anybody else? Okay, I'll take a vote as to who is in favor of presenting this warrant article, approved by the selectmen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Aye.
So,
Did we have a second to that?
what's that?
We need a full motion. We didn't have a second. So you're making the motion?
Sure.
I will second that motion.
Thank you, Linda.
And then I'll do the vote with everybody else then.
So 4-1?
4 to 1.
What do I?
And do you need a motion to move it to the
Motion to move it
warrant?
to the warrant.
I'll make a motion to move it to the warrant.
Second.
Third?
All those in favor?
Aye.
I think tonight we also, Mr. Chairman, I think tonight we also agreed that we need to get people signed up to speak to it on the videotaping. Isn't that what we decided to do the other night?
It's on the end of your presentation, a sign-up sheet.
Sorry. Where's that?
Okay,
You got it? You got the
next
sign?
one, Jim?
Your next one is the ambulance service revolving fund, where 35% of the revenues generated from the ambulance service will be placed into a revolving fund for the purchases of ambulances, cardiac monitors, stretchers, and other equipment necessary under law to operate an ambulance. 65% of the revenues generated will go into the general fund. This will become effective January 1, 2027, which means any revenues created in 2026 will go to the general fund. There is no tax rate impact on this. However, it would be good to show support of this because it will have financial impacts on the community in the future.
Okay, I'm going to read the article. To see if the town will vote to establish a revolving fund pursuant to RSA 31:95-H1B for the purpose of supporting the provision of ambulance services in town through the purchase of expendables and capital costs, to include ambulances, cardiac monitors, stretchers, and other equipment necessary under state laws and regulations to operate a transport ambulance. Beginning in January 1 of 2027, the town will deposit 35% of revenues generated by the provision of ambulance services into the fund. Money in the fund shall be allowed to accumulate from year to year and shall not be considered part of the town's general fund balance. Town treasurer shall have custody of all money in the fund, shall pay out the same only upon the order of the select board. No further approval from the legislative body shall be required to expend funds. Such funds may be expended only for the purpose for which the fund was created. 65% balance of revenue generated from the provision of the ambulance services will be deposited into the general fund. Okay, everybody understand it?
Yep. I'll make a motion to the select board to recommend the ambulance service revolving fund.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Just a clarification, no, on one of the other articles, Ms. Murray wanted, after legislative body, the term select board put in there.
Where, Jim?
Excuse me, that was governing body, my bad. Disregard, I think I got it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
can I just get a vote count? Where'd you come out on the revolving fund, John?
Yeah,
Who's in
You did
favor?
it,
5-0.
Okay, I just wanted to,
5-0.
wasn't hearing.
It'd be nice if we said the vote,
Just trying to,
yeah, because it's,
Okay.
we're looking.
okay, 5-0, thank you.
And we need a motion to move it to the warrant.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
Next one, Jim?
Yeah, so your next article is the collective bargaining agreement. See if the town will vote to will vote to approve the cost items which are a result of impact negotiations with existing employees resulting from the town's transition to fire department ambulance services. This new collective bargaining agreement reached between the Select Board Local 3657 of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFSCME, calls for the following increases in wages and benefits at the current staffing levels: 2026, $73,586, benefits $22,518, 2027 wages $22,094, benefits $6,761. Further, in 2026, to raise and appropriate the sum of $96,104 for current fiscal year, such sum representing the additional costs attributed to the increase in wages and benefits required by the new agreement over those that had been previously approved. 2026 tax rate impact 2 cents per thousand, 2027 1 cent per thousand of assessed valuation. You just ratified the contract. Can try to answer any questions that you might have.
Jim?
Any questions?
Dave?
Paul?
So for the benefit of the public, about a week ago, or whenever the last time we met, we went over the document. I don't know offhand because I have it at home, but in terms of the compensation, which people always want to know, hey, you're paying them enough, not enough, that question. The benchmarking took place around how many communities, Jim? How many?
It was based on all communities that had collective bargaining agreements with the fire department. I believe that it was 16, 18.
John Thurston just gave me the piece of paper. So 16, 18 communities where we benchmarked what a firefighter, advanced EMT starting pay was. We benchmarked against all of these communities. And we are right in line with them, which is the right thing to do. The second thing we did, so that addresses the, gee, you're paying them not enough, too much question. Thank you, Brian. The second thing we did is we had a pretty detailed discussion about work rules, how overtime works, who gets, that all got sorted out, which was actually very helpful. And the third thing we talked about was, what's the right mix? Shifts, those are the things you all bargained for. How do we deal with people who get advanced certifications? So, I sat in this meeting with the folks. I've said this even with the other unions. They were well-mannered. They were tough discussions when they needed to be, but I think we came to a good place. And so I'm supporting this agreement.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
John?
So Jim, this year 2026 estimated increase, is that per person or per total, all employees?
All employees.
73 grand?
So we have their base salary, and this 73,000 and change is distributed amongst those, I believe it's is it 13 employees, Chief? Right, that's not applicable to this. So
Not
13
applicable.
employees is what that $96,000 is distributed between.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that the Board of Selectmen recommend the ASME contract impact negotiation.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. I'll make a motion to move it to the warrant.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Jim, on this one, we'll need a title.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Water Resources, Non-Capital Reserve Fund. I've done a little more diving into this. I feel very comfortable that this currently has a balance of $44,750 in the account. This does include the reduction which the board approved about a month ago for another project. So the current ask is whether or not you want to put $50,000 into this existing non-capital reserve fund for water quality, water resource projects around the town. You as the Board of Selectmen are agents to expend. Impact, 1 cent per thousand of assessed valuation.
Linda?
Yeah, I'd be willing to move that down to 25,000 with 44 and 25 with the projects I know we have coming. I think that would be enough. Last year, I moved to put nothing in this account because we had a large amount. So I'm hoping you'll support a small amount in it this year.
Question? Dave?
Paul?
Town manager, why was it put at 50 in the first place? We have a bid on the table that says make it 25. Is there a compelling counter on that as to why it's 50?
Frankly, it was what we had appropriated previously, which was removed from the warrant last year. So I just pulled over what was in there in 2024, I believe it was.
Linda?
I'll make a motion to change the amount on the water resource non-capital reserve account from 50 to 25,000.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
I'll make a motion to move the water resource I will make a motion that the Board of Selectmen recommend the water resource non-capital reserve fund.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Better got it up in the warrant? Is that your
Move it to
motion?
the warrant.
Recommend to move this water resource non-capital reserve fund to the warrant.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next one, Jim, the police cruise.
Yep, so your next one is the replacement of 2 police vehicles. Excuse me. Set appropriation to be offset by $16,000, which represents a portion of accumulated revenues in the special police detail revolving fund created by warrant article 23 in 2006. Therefore, the amount to be raised by general taxation is $124,000. Tax rate impact for these 2 police vehicles is 3 cents per thousand of assessed valuation. As discussed previously, the Budget Committee requested that we move these out, put them into a warrant. We did research lease purchases of the vehicles. Interest rates were not terribly attractive, therefore we're in front of you asking for 2 vehicles this year in cash.
Any comments?
I'll
Okay.
make a motion that the Board of Selectmen recommend the police cruiser replacement.
Second?
All right, any further discussion?
Can I make a discussion?
Yes, Paul?
So there is and again, just the benefit of people who are tuning in, each year, the police department has Ben Berry up at the town garage do an assessment of the vehicles. When was the vehicle assessment done, Brian? April?
April 15th of 2025.
So the good news is we're not just making this stuff up. Ben Berry, last April of '25, wrote Jim and the leadership of PD a message, and he had gone through 4, 5 of the cruisers, and was fair and balanced in his assessment, but those cruisers at that time were in tough shape. And so the ask by PD, which I support, is to go after the 2 most chronic ones that were identified a year ago as being in tough shape. So I think it's fair to say that PD is actually doing a pretty spiffy job managing their assets and telling us the condition they're in. And so I think it's a right thing to do for the voters to support this.
Yeah, I also want to point out, at one time, they had 11 cruisers.
Correct.
And with this replacement, I think they have 8 now. This will bring them up to 9.
And
8, yeah, they have 8, they'll go up to 10, they have to retire one, they'll have
Do
9.
9.
net 9. Yep.
Yep,
Just 8,
right, yep.
So moving numbers. Yep.
yep.
All
So
right,
I move to recommend the police cruiser replacement warrant article.
I think we did that.
second.
We did that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
I'll make a motion that we move it to the warrant.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so you should have this morning received some correspondence from me with some feedback from legal counsel related to the options for the community center. You will see in that feedback that he did a strike-through of our proposed, and he gave you 3 separate options to look at for moving forward with this project. I did reach out because I did have some concerns about option number 3, Whether or not the way that that is worded, we would have to show a tax rate impact at all. I have been advised preliminarily that we will not have to show any type of a tax rate impact on option number 3, if that's the way that you would like to go. I know that this came late. I know that Brian had sent a few emails out related to it. I have not had a opportunity to review those in final preparations for this afternoon and this evening. But these are the 3 options that you have in front of you based on recommendations for legal counsel.
Dave? So what I did was I looked at the 3 options. Our legal counsel said that if we use option 1, we need to use option 2 also. He wrote that. So what I wrote was I took option 1 and just changed some of the verbiage. And you should have all gotten this in an email today, 3 hours before the meeting, so I hope that you had time to look at it. And again, the reason it came so late is because we didn't get this from legal counsel till this morning. So I have one that's establish an expendable trust fund for the Firehouse Community Center building. Why I want that title with Firehouse Community Center building is because that's what we've been calling it in other funds that we have in town. To see if the town will vote to establish a Firehouse Community Center expendable trust fund per RSA 31:19A for the purpose of design, renovation, reconstruction, and/or maintenance of the Firehouse Community Center building on Laner Street, and to raise and appropriate the sum of $1 from the unassigned fund balance to open and create the trust fund. Further, to name the select board as agents to expend from said fund. Now, the reason why I'm adding some of these things in is I already mentioned why I want the name of the building to be in there so that everybody knows exactly what building the construction is going to. Because we've had 2 committees with different names, and we need to have that be very clear. I looked at renovation and reconstruction because reconstruction means to change the outside of a building, and they will be doing that for like the front walkway, and they will be changing the roof by replacing it. Renovation means to, and these are definitions you can look up, renovation means to do more of a cleaning up a building, making it look cleaner and nicer, and painting and siding and things like that. The design work was already done. So that's why I wanted to include that. I've spoken to some citizens about it today. They thought it was very clear, and they liked it, and I think it follows what town council has given us. The second one I did was acceptance and transfer of funds for the Firehouse Community Center building. To see if the town will vote to allow the select board to accept any and all donations, gifts, and grants to the town in trust or otherwise for the purpose of the design, renovation, reconstruction, and/or maintenance of the Firehouse Community Center building on Laner Street. This authority shall continue until rescinded. Further, the select board shall be permitted to transfer any funds previously received for a similar purpose to the Firehouse Community Center Expendable Trust Fund. This is so that it's very clear that the $35,000 we've already received will go to that trust fund. Again, I renamed the warrant article, the option he had, with a more precise name of the building where the donations will be spent. I also did a little dive into the Attorney General to find out what can happen if we have an issue with the construction. What I found is that the Attorney General allows for this money to be donated for this project. If the project shall fail, then what can happen is the donor has the right in writing to use it for another purpose for the existing building, for another purpose in the town, or have the money returned to them. So this satisfies everything from our initial donor who was concerned on where his money would go. He contacted us today, and I'm sure Jim saw that, and he said he's happy that he knows this information from the Attorney General's office, and he's giving us the right to take his donation without any attachments to it. So I cleared up that. So if we answer some of these questions, why are there two warrant articles? Because this makes it clear that we're creating a fund and we're accepting money. This is what our attorney has asked us to do. The wording I created in conjunction with citizens of the town that were confused on some of the original wording of the article. If people donate before March town meeting, when the voting takes place, what happens if these warrant articles are not accepted? I have never heard a time in the town where donations to support the community have not been accepted. We will not, the voters will, in my opinion, say yes, and the select board will always accept donations to better a town asset. And who's going to be the general contractor, the clerk of the works? That's up for discussion still, but in a legal agreement that we're forming with Jordy Hutchinson, there will be a third party who is the town eyes and ears on the project to make sure that the project goes as planned and the duties of contractors are completed. So that's my take on it. The board can digest this. We can vote at it at another time if they need to see it. But that's where I fall.
Yeah, I really like the change in the wording because it makes it very clear to everybody where it's going. And I think that is very important. I agree with the two warrant options that you have put forward here. And it's good to know that if we take it, that if a donor wants it, if it doesn't go through their ways, that we can address it. Thank you very much for that. I do have a concern about when we would have to vote on this in order for you to get it on the warrant. Can we wait until the 21st when we meet again?
Yes.
Okay.
If you are able to vote on the 21st, that should not be a problem. My only concern is whether or not I will have to reconvene the budget committee to vote on it or not.
No, it's
Because it's appropriating from unassigned fund balance at one item, $1, right? So that's the one hiccup. But if we have to schedule a meeting, we'll schedule a meeting. That's not a big deal.
For the buck, for the $1.
I will move that we move the warrant article on the community center to the Board of Selectmen's January 21st meeting.
I'll second it.
Okay, that'll give town council a chance to at least look at it.
Can I just speak to this
Okay.
for a second? All right, thanks.
That makes sense? All right. Paul?
Yeah. So the way I process this, if anybody wants to give us a restricted gift, here's a check for the Firehouse Community Center. That is a check. We'll take it, and we're going to put it in the bank just as we did for two prior donors. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's what Brian read to you is, and I think it's good language. What Brian read to you is, someone is going to offer us a restricted gift, and we will assign that restricted gift to that center. God forbid something happens that the gift doesn't, or that the center doesn't, something doesn't happen. That restricted gift remains restricted, but could be repurposed for town purposes. The only thing, and I want to have a conversation with all of us about, is the giving back of a restricted gift. That's for us to sort out, because somebody took a tax deduction. We just got to make sure that if you took a tax deduction on a restricted gift and we give it back to you, how do you untax deduct? So I just want to understand that a little bit. But this language allows us, we have to vote on it. But where we are right now is there should be no impediment for somebody who wants to give us a restricted gift for the Firehouse Community Center. I kind of like 32 Laner Street, but that's a different issue. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think it's fine. We just got to make sure we get the language proper. That's all. Thanks.
Dave? So just to allay any fears, Paul, the only way that they get a gift back is they have to give a letter in writing to the town if the project doesn't come to fruition because we can't raise, Geordie can't raise enough money, the group can't raise enough money, then by a letter from the donor, they tell us, do they want the money back? Or repurpose it. So we don't have to worry about what happens with that money. They get to choose what goes forward.
Makes sense. At that point, our hands are clean. Someone who the donor is, I want my money back, then they can go.
Yeah, and that was
pick up the phone and
information.
call their tax lawyer and do whatever they have to do.
That was information from the New Hampshire Attorney General's
Yeah,
office that I got.
That's fine.
Jim? And go on to the next one?
Yep.
I think
We have to vote.
We
Oh.
made the
Gotta
motions,
vote.
we didn't vote.
Right. All right. Somebody want to make a motion?
The motions
all
are there,
made.
all those in favor?
Yeah.
All those in
Those in favor?
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
5-0.
You're welcome.
Okay, the next article, you should have received correspondence on this one. We are in very good condition with the way that the funds at the docks for the Libby Museum are accounted for. The Charitable Trust Unit feels that there's nothing further that we need to do, therefore we can remove the revolving fund article.
Question on that, Jim? So for my memory, the charitable trust, in one of their correspondences with us back in the spring, maybe, said, hey, you got to create one of these vessels. And now they're saying, based upon what we've done and shown to them, you don't have to create one of these vessels?
What we have shown them, they are satisfied with, that we are not commingling funds and that they are distinctly separate. Therefore, there is no need to establish any form of a revolving trust.
So for folks out there, there is an account. It's inside the general fund. It's inside the general fund? It's inside the general fund. That account takes money in from dock fees. That account is identified, it's not commingled, and so the charitable trust unit is saying, we're satisfied, you're doing the right thing. Fair enough? Move to remove it from the conversation. Do we need a motion to do that?
I think you just made it.
I think I did.
And
Do
I'll
we need to do
I'll
that?
I'll
You want to
say,
second that? Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
So I have a question about the Libby. Can I ask that? So we had a meeting where we discussed the repairs on the building. The repairs were done. There was a report by Preservation Timber Framing. Is that a public document now?
It is.
Of course.
So this is the document out there, and it's got a wide variety of pictures from the repairs and the rot and all of this other stuff. What would it take for us to make some copies and provide that at the front foyer, or should we just pin it up on the cork board so people can see it? Or I think what I'm getting to is we want the public to know before they come to us and say the building should be saved, this, that, the other thing. They should be able to at least see some documentation what the building is made of, because I heard my colleague on the board say I would be skeptical of someone's appraisal of the construction of the building, and this pretty much lays it out pretty good there, just to get you going so that you
Question.
can see how bad this
Dave?
Hang on.
thing
I'm
is.
sorry.
So I'd like us to be able to make some copies and have those available to the public.
Yeah, so we maintain a folder with the Libby, we'll put it in there, we can pin it on the board, and we can also, if you like, put it on the webpage.
I think we should put it on the webpage
Hey,
for
that was going to be
sure.
my question. I was going to ask that question. Why did you let me do it?
I beat you.
You beat me. Yeah, I was going to put Amy on the spot. Can we just put this on the website so that people can see it? Because I think it's pertinent.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good, thanks.
And the unusual thing is, the guy who wrote the report did say that the building can be saved.
For $2 million.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, so we're on to petition warrant articles.
Can we back up?
Sure.
We had a discussion on the board whether or not there was any interest from the board to bring back Article D, Crescent Lake Avenue, to see if the town would vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $550,000 for the purpose of upgrading Crescent Lake Ave. Funds shall be utilized for engineering fees, stormwater drainage systems, and water main upgrades, the repair of sewer lines, and rebuild Crescent Lake Ave. $352,000 from the Water Enterprise Fund shall be used for the purpose of engineering and replacement vintage water mains which service Crescent Lake Ave. $198,000 from general taxation shall be for the purpose of engineering and making repairs of the existing sewer line in Crescent Lake Ave, stormwater drainage systems, and rebuilding of the Crescent Lake Ave. This appropriation is non-lapsing pursuant to RSA 32:7(6) and shall lapse on December 31st, 2027 upon completion of the project, whichever occurs first. The tax rate impact is 4 cents per thousand assessed value. So, it's,
No, I don't have it on the
he doesn't have it
presentation.
on the
this is
slide.
because I wanted to bring it back so that we could re-vote on it. It's not, it basically got kicked out because it was voted against. I thought it was an important warrant article. I wanted to bring it back and have the board revisit and see if there's somebody that was on the winning side of the vote would be willing to reconsider.
Can I speak to it, Jim?
Somebody want to,
Can I say something?
go ahead.
Go ahead.
So I was kind of in the same space as John. I learned after talking to, well, a couple of things. So, and Steve, if I got this wrong, you just correct me, or Jim. Crescent Lake Avenue has had 2, 3 water main leaks.
1 minute, Dave. Let me second it for discussion.
There you go, do that. All right. 2, 3 water main leaks? 3, okay. So there's problems underneath the street. Okay, that's number one. John used the term free money, which I think got you in trouble a couple of weeks ago. And there's no free money around here. If there is, I'm getting in the front of the line. There is some money in the Water Capital Reserve Fund for this, but there's also a need to have some money released or appropriated, more importantly, by the voters, 3-4 cents. I thought it was 2, but that's okay, 3-4 cents to fix the sidewalks and others. What kind of, do we have a, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, do we have steel, lead, what kind of pipes have we got underneath the ground? Don't guzzle your water. We've got steel or lead pipes under the ground.
That is cast iron.
Cast
That is
iron.
pre-1970 cast
Steve
iron.
Randall?
Steve Randall,
Thank you.
Director of Public Works. That is pre-1970s cast iron. We know it is a vintage line. It is possible lead components. There is a lead jointed hydrant on that run. Those are, and for the people that, if they're ever curious, you can tell lead jointed hydrants because if you look at them, the main
Pipe.
orifice is lower than the two on the side. All the newer ones are all the same. Those older ones, which are pre-1970, are lead jointed hydrants.
So we got 3 leaks in the ground that we've repaired. We know it's that pipe. It can't be anybody else's pipe. We think we have maybe some different composition of pipe under the ground. It's a 4-cent issue on the tax rate, but the real killer question that I think Jim helped me with today is, when would you start doing this?
So because of our timeframes, how things go from the time we vote to the time we put out to bid, We have been
I'm
about,
sorry, Jim. Just wait. Okay, go ahead.
so from the time we vote till we can get stuff out to bid, we have been running about a year behind. We do have, my original plan was because we have River Street all ready to go, was I was hoping that I could put that one out to bid and maybe get that as an add-on while the company was in town. That was my original plan.
You didn't give me, well, I think you gave me clarity, but I'm not clear.
So if, we would be ready to go because the plan set is all done. The plan set is all done for it.
So you got plans.
We would be ready to go. It's whether or not by the time March 10th comes and we go through the process, whether or not we could hire a contractor and have them in here by November, and have it done by November 1st would be the question. That I can't answer.
Yeah, I voted against this, and the reason I did is I was looking at bringing in our cash warrant articles between 2.7 and 3 million. Without this right now, we're 3.13, and so we keep on edging up. And we have some very important warrant articles to get through. One is the operating budget and the ambulance. And so my feeling is that we as a board need to make some decisions on what needs to go forward. If there's something else you want to take out of here and entice me into looking at this one above that one, but I think we need to keep that within that 2.7 to 3. The kicker was I wasn't counting on the impact negotiations. I can live with a 3.13, but I'm not willing to add anything more to that. I think it's important. We've made some big decisions on other things. Let me say, all of this is needed. If we could use every one of these, but I believe that this, and when I asked you at the meeting, you said you could wait a year. And this is an area where we're going to be, we need to get done before the Route 28 project.
We need to get it done before the Route 21 project, and we do need, because it is identified as vintage, we do have a timetable on that. And that was something that I did not bring up at the other meeting.
Okay, so I want to know, what are we doing with the vintage water line going up North Main, which is one of the biggest and
Correct.
most problematic that we have? When is that slated?
So that we have in the next 10 years, because
Okay.
that's going to have to be on a 10-year plan in conjunction with DOT is where we have it slated right now.
Okay.
Which we're dealing with that one. So try and get that one off the ground to that one, or we're going to have to foot the bill completely for that one.
So, I mean, we have a lot of very vintage, and so this is one, and I'm comfortable having it go one more year and put it on as the project for the following year, since we have a project ready to go that will go off this year.
And
So
we
that's where I am.
still have the vintage sewer line going right down through downtown Main Street, which, how old is that one?
It's older than you.
Yes, it's old.
Yeah, and it could have leaks in it.
Yes.
And that area, the ground could end up saturated, and we could end up with pipes going down through
Don't point at me.
the town docks and ending up into the lake. So we're going to have to make hard choices on what we're going to have to do. Do we want to fix sewer lines? Do we want to fix water lines? Do we want to? So we do have hard choices. That's a $6 million project, isn't it?
I got it. We got leaks, we got iron, we got it all over the place.
It's all over.
However, and I understand it's pushing up 4 cents on the tax rate. If the voters think it's a dumb idea, you can say no. I look at this one and I say, we've been in that street 3 times. 3 times. And I got it. We got leaks all over I got it. We've been in the street 3 times. We have a, what do you call it, vintage? Got one of those vintage things going on. We have money in the water fund capital reserve to do it. We just need to ask the voters for another 4 cents on the tax rate. I'm supporting doing this because I really, and I hate to do the I told you. I don't want to have somebody come and say, well, you knew this thing was a mess and you just let it go. And have we had a couple of those conversations? My thing is, We know it's a problem, you've identified it, you've done the engineering. You say you did the engineering, right? I don't know when you can get to it, but I think there's an urgency, so I'm going to be supportive of this.
Any other questions? We have a
And
motion.
if I could, and I appreciate, bless your heart, Linda's trying to say, let's keep this thing in a manageable bite size so that it doesn't look goofy and dumb. And I agree with that, but this one to me, it went on the cutting room floor, and I didn't feel good after I did it, and I respect putting it back on the table.
And I supported it, and I might go against it now because I've seen the tax rate impact at the end, and I've seen where we have, we need the ambulance, we need the 900,000 for your roads, we need the cruisers. And
They're not in play.
this can be 1 year more that I think we just have to suffer, unfortunately. We are suffering, and we're suffering for the citizens because we don't want to raise their taxes. We want to keep them as low as possible.
All right, any other discussion? The motion is to put this warrant article back on the warrant? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay,
Thank you.
we debate, we decide, and then we move on.
We do.
Okay.
Okay, so we're into the petitions now. This is the citizens petition, which came in front of you, asking for $75,000 to engage an independent consulting firm to conduct a comprehensive organizational operations review with actionable recommendations, to be delivered by December 31, 2026. 2 cents per thousand assessed valuation. This does have a tax rate impact, therefore the board does need to weigh in on this warrant article.
Can I ask the author a question?
What?
Can I ask the author of this a question?
Oh, why not? Sure.
Can you answer a question for me?
Ann Blodgett, one of many authors.
Okay. All I want to change is to appropriate the sum not to exceed $75,000. Can we put that in?
I think that would have to change on the deliberative
Yeah.
floor. I don't think, we have to put it in as written,
Yeah, because it's petition
warrant
warrant.
article.
So she,
can't
Think
change
it-
it
if
as-
she's the petitioner, she can't change it?
As it comes, she can change it at the deliberative.
Okay.
Any kind of change can take place at the deliberative, but
25 people signed it as is.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So maybe it's something.
Also,
Yeah.
it's very hard to read this stuff up there. I mean,
So you can't read it.
well, I can read it here, but back there and probably further back, people are having trouble. And when you were talking about, I got to say, when you were talking about the Firehouse Community Center, you had one thing up there, and then you're talking about something else, and I don't know what you voted for. We're all confused.
But we are putting that one off to January 21st, so
Yes.
that's why we did that.
Because we had it written two different ways. We had recommendations from town attorney
So-
that I modified, and I didn't modify them until noon. Jim did not have time to
I
create
got
slides.
the time crunch, which is too bad, because this is quite a time crunch you're in.
Yeah.
But I think having the attorney's one up there just really is going to confuse everybody. So just next time, maybe take it down or something. So if you're talking about one, this is, you guys are used to this, but people watching aren't. So respectfully, I know there's a lot of material here, so let's try to pare it down to what's actually pertinent. Thanks.
Okay. So I think I got the answer, and that is that we can't do anything to that warrant article unless it's done on the, at the deliberative session. Is that what the question really turned out to be?
That's correct, you got the correct
Thank you.
answer.
Okay.
You need a motion?
Yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion on the petition warrant article on raising $75,000 for a consultant recommended by the Board of Selectmen.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed?
I'm going to abstain.
Okay, so we got 3 to 1 to 1.
Yep.
311. Okay, and it's petitioned, so it automatically goes to the warrant. You don't have to motion.
So I'm just going to, could I, Mr. Chairman? I gotta get my little whining in on this one. We just spent 2 cents on this, and we blew off 4 cents on fixing a water line.
Get over it.
And congratulations. But that, to me, just is disbalanced. But that's okay. I've said what I have to say.
Yep.
Let's move on.
Linda?
Yeah, I abstain because I want the voters to be free to vote without any
Good for you.
push from me one way or another.
Good for you. Yep.
Jim?
Okay, so your next one, no action required. This is increase 100% disabled veterans property tax credit. No action required. Got it. Your next item is to make safety setbacks at downtown crosswalks permanent. No tax rate impact, your discretion whether or not you want to take any action or not. It goes to the warrant automatically. All set?
Yep.
Yep.
Your next one is related to adopting the following: individual select board members shall serve on no more than 2 town boards, committees, or commissions. Exceptions are those prescribed by law, and no select board member shall serve as the chairman of any of the aforementioned. No action required. Goes to the warrant automatically.
Dave, can I speak on that one, though?
Want to speak to it?
Yeah, the only thing I see about this warrant article is that we have lots of volunteers and lots of citizens who get involved on committees. If you added them all up, there's probably almost hundreds, well over 100. And a lot of them rely on select board members to keep them up to speed on what's happening in the town and how it affects their committees. So if we have 19 different committees right now, if I counted correctly, and we're only allowed to sit on 2 committees at a time, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, that means that 9 committees go without any support from a select board member. I know that the committees that I sit on, especially the energy and the EDC, rely heavily on me. And I would hate to have to remove myself from some committees because of this warrant article.
Okay.
Dave?
John?
So I think this spring, when we did committee assignments, we heard from one of my fellow select persons on this board that it's political. And that kind of caught my attention, because when you sit on a committee and it's political, that means that you're sitting there for a certain group. You're not sitting there for all the groups. So to me, that was a eye-opening, ear-listening moment that I didn't really feel that was that good.
Okay.
Okay, moving along. See if the town will vote to maintain the unique and scenic rural character of the town's designated scenic roads and gravel roads per the 2019 master plan, and shall not widen such roads or pave roads presently gravel unless required. Public hearings shall have been duly noticed and held. Any action thereafter and thereupon subject to the vote of the citizens of Wolfeboro.
Anybody want to comment on that? We don't, there's no money, so we don't need to vote
Correct.
on it. Okay, next, Jim?
Okay, so we received one related to raising and appropriating the sum of $5,000 to be added to the existing Libby Museum Capital Reserve Fund for the purpose of renovating and expanding. This further takes and changes the purpose in the established warrant article. Therefore, by RSA 3516, it must have a two-thirds majority to pass, so I added that language at the bottom of it. This is an article that you have to weigh in on because it does have a financial impact.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I try that one again, Jim. What's the change of purpose of the trustees, ergo two-thirds majority of the folks out there have to do something? Is that?
To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of $5,000 to be added to the existing Libby Museum Capital Reserve Fund for the purpose of renovating and expanding and repairing the Libby Museum. The fund was established by warrant Article 12 in 2020, and further, to amend said warrant Article 12 to remove the word expanding and to now read for the purpose of renovating and repairing.
And then the language below, that's the petitioners?
That's all the petitioners.
If the warrant article
The required
passes,
RSA language is mine.
So was this checked by
I
our
reached
legal
out to
counsel?
counsel this morning, and he confirmed the RSA 3516 is applicable based on the language.
Well, no, I'm wondering about the whole thing. Well, if this warrant article passes, it will be the first step in removing the Board of Selectmen as trustees. Should the Friends of Libby decline trusteeship, I didn't even know, the CTU doesn't even, we haven't heard that that's the secession. I haven't heard of a secession from one group to another group. And then it says that the Friends of the Libby will, a new Libby Museum private nonprofit will form to become the successors. Well, that group doesn't exist yet, and do they know what the CTU will require of them, which means that they'll have to understand museums, know how to run museums, be able to fix the building, and have a $2 million endowment. I don't know.
Yeah, so
Or summoned
let me break this into two parts. First, the top part, Nathan weighed in on relative to the change. The bottom part, he had all kinds of questions, whether or not the legality of it and how exactly that's going to happen going forward. Obviously, it will require getting more entities involved, such as the CTU and whatnot.
Yes, am I correct? This is a petition warrant article. We are required to put it on the warrant. Should we have a legal opinion so that the voters understand the problems the way it is written?
Yeah,
I think that's only fair to them. You know, I think that what they are trying to do is, one, take out expansion, which I don't think is on the table anymore, but then to try to form another group, and I just don't think this paragraph does it.
Is that a motion, Linda?
I'm still talking, Paul. I know you want a motion, I'll get to it, okay? What the last sentence is, the warrant doesn't pass, the trustees' board of selectmen could demolish the building. And my concern is I still would want to hold the public hearings. I wouldn't want to last on the wording of this warrant article to do that.
Correct.
So I think there are a couple of issues on the way this is worded.
Yeah, so the attorney, the bottom half in the capital print did have all kinds of concerns about it. So
I mean, is this directing us
I
to-
can get greater legal guidance if you would like.
Yeah, is this directing us to demolish the building? Is that what that last sentence is?
No, I don't think it's directing us to, it's, because not, if correct that a petition warrant article is not binding?
Correct.
So they can, if it's illegal, we're not going forward with it,
Okay.
is
Well,
my,
I think like we have one other one, we're gonna deal with town attorney, I think he should weigh in on this one.
I think,
That's what you're saying?
yeah, I make a motion that we table this warrant article. I'm getting to it, Paul. And this warrant article and get town attorney's opinion, and that we deal with it at the January 21st meeting.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Thank you, Linda. I apologize for interrupting.
That's okay, Paul. I forgive you. Yes.
So we also received another petition about the parking spaces, to see if the town will restore the parking spaces only in the direction of travel on Main Street immediately after the crosswalk to support the safety setbacks and crosswalks. Doing so will maintain the safety of pedestrians while supporting essential parking spaces. Automatically goes to the warrant, nothing that the board needs to do.
Okay,
So I have one that we discussed at the last meeting. And for the recollection of the board, I think we had the discussion of whether or not the committee's work would continue on the senior youth center. And it was asked if I was going to draw up something that the board would put on the warrant article, non-money funding item. Linda said that the CIP was working on moving money towards the project for the 2027 to 2028 year. And if we get the public to say that we want to continue that, then it will make the job easier for the CIP to make that decision to move that forward. Because what we do know is the firehouse building is the firehouse building, and this is always a separate direction from a separate group that was doing their homework and moving forward. So this is the wording. To see if the town of Wolfeboro will support the 2007 and 2019 master plans to conduct a comprehensive feasibility study for a joint youth senior community center, including needs assessment, site suitability evaluation, operational cost projections, and potential funding sources, and to authorize the select board to hire qualified engineer and consulting professionals to assist with the results to be presented to the voters by March. I wrote 2027, but I believe it probably should be 2028. I still will ask a little information on that. This article seeks funding for a vital first step in the process of a much-needed community hub for all ages, addressing growing demand for recreational, social, and civic spaces. The study will provide concrete data needed for future informed decisions, ensuring responsible uses of taxpayer funds. It was in your boxes this afternoon.
Linda?
Yeah, I mean, what you're asking for here, we'd have to spend some funds for. So I went back because it went through the CIP, and I brought the CIP because we were concerned about exactly what had been put before the CIP. It was a for the 2007 warrant. It was in 2026, 250,000 should be in a warrant article for engineering and site development of the community center. At this time, it is recommended that the current community center be raised in 2026, which should be discussed by the select board in the near future. Full project should be taken under consideration as part of a 2027 warrant. Please see the back. this project, as it went before the CIP reviewed it. It spent a lot of time looking at where they wanted to put the different projects. They moved this to the following year in order to balance out the tax rate. And so I believe we should stick with the CIP and their recommendation at this time.
So this doesn't ask for any funding. This basically asks for the public to say, do you want to continue to move forward on this so that the CIP can allocate funding and the voters can say yes or no? That's what this question is. This is just a yes or no.
Paul?
Thanks for writing it, John. So I did a big circle around two words, seeks funding.
Yep.
And so my mind said, okay, how much and where? If I understand correctly, this notion here is currently on the capital improvements plan. It got moved to 27.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure I understand what you're asking to do. It's already in flight. It's already in the, pardon the terrible word, it's in the system for 27 to get a look-see. What are you asking for here that's different?
So is it in flight is the question. Does it have the support from the people out there? Because if it doesn't have the support from the people out there, we should just call Ty and Bond and write them a letter and say, the people have lost interest and it's got no more flight.
Now, I got the question, but my comment is, unless I'm incorrect, I read the capital improvement outline, and this concept is in there for a 27 look-see. But so I don't know what this is. Is this I want to show a virtual hands by the voter? I'm putting words in your mouth, I apologize. I want to show a virtual hands by the voter that says, are we still in on wanting to do this, or is there something else?
I think I'm looking for support from the public so we can move forward. And I mean, the people out there deserve an opportunity to say, we thought we were going to be seeing something. Obviously, there's another something going on with another building, and I think that has confused the voters out there. It's basically saying this is a separate sidebar. Where are we going with this? And they can go on the sidebar. I mean, if we need to take out seeks funding and say seeks reaffirmation or something of that nature, then this is a first draft.
No, I know. Just so that I'm clear, we have two members of this board that are CIP members. It is still in the CIP for 27?
So to be honest with you, during the CIP, one of our board members did not come during that meeting.
But it is in the final CIP report.
Yes, and it was voted on by the CIP, and it was moved to 27.
Yeah. And as a member of the CIP committee, I abstained from voting on any of it because I get to vote it at a meeting, so I don't double vote. So I took no votes for the CIP. I wonder whether part of what, if you're just trying to say in 2027, will you support us moving forward at looking at and to talk about the option that you were talking about, very simply.
Okay.
That is something different than what I see here. You're just saying, if you're just saying to them, that one's going forward, and will you raise your hand, do you want us to keep on working for a larger project? Is that what you're asking?
I think that's what the first half says, yes.
So I would do it just simply like that.
Yeah.
Just the first half.
Just simple. Are you in favor of us moving forward on a larger project for a larger community center?
Well, you asked me to write something up to put in front of the board,
Well,
so
I did.
I did.
You
So,
did.
I mean,
And we're chewing on it.
yeah, that's
So
right.
we could write warrant articles to affirm everything the CIP is going to do for the next 10 years.
I think what we're dealing with here, that you had a committee moving in a direction, and I think what John is saying, that committee work did a bunch of stuff. I'd like to know whether the community wants us to keep on going forward.
Correct. We put a lot of time in.
Yeah.
I mean, when people give their time to volunteer for something for their community, they just don't feel very good when somebody else says, no, we're going to do this over here, when you actually were following the process.
Okay. Dave? So I got that. But I think what you're asking, and I think Linda's nailed it, is this project is already in our capital improvement plan. Do you want us to continue to do that? Yes or no? If it's no, then that project can, as an advisory warrant, we could pick that thing up and just say, it's over.
That's
and it's
what
done.
that is.
And then that can make way for other projects to come forward. But all this, respectfully, John, all this stuff down below confused the bejeepers out of me. So maybe the first paragraph kind of did it for me.
Okay, that's fine. So leave it in to the first paragraph and take out the bottom half. Take out where it says this article, remove that, and leave the top half.
But even in the first half paragraph, don't you want to say somewhere that you're going to continue to the work that you've already done? That's the piece I find missing, because that's the real crux. There's been some work on a larger project. Do you want us to go forward with that? And then you could keep on. But I think the question is, do you want us to continue working?
Okay, so do you want me to bring this back to the 21st meeting?
Yeah. Do you want me to send you some wording and see whether
Sure.
you like it? I'll just send you some words and see if you put in whatever you want, but I'm more than willing to do that if you would like.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll help you with it unless we're getting into a goofy thing. Yeah, it's
Well, if you want to do it, I don't care.
We have momentum. Do you want us to continue, yay or nay?
That's what it is.
That's all there is.
That's
Yep.
what you want,
Yeah, no,
okay?
yep.
Dave, I have a question.
Paul?
Was there another warrant on the sidewalk to reaffirm or codify, whatever the right words were? Was there another one of those, or did that get yanked?
They were both in the presentation.
They're right here. Second one's right here.
Okay.
We just looked at that
I
one.
just had a brain cramp. Okay.
This is the one, second one, Paul, was
Thank you. I got it.
only in one direction.
I got it. And the second one is to codify. Got it. Thank you.
You want to talk about it?
No,
No, I just wanted to make sure it was in there. That's all. There's no money in it. It goes to the warrant.
right.
Thank you.
Jim, we got anything else?
Yeah, we got to do the select board assignments and the proposed order here, if you're good with, I took some feedback from you guys and whatnot regarding the order, and I need to know who is going to present what at the recording and then at the deliberative session.
Well, I'll sign up for the police vehicle.
For the police vehicles?
I'll do the Clark complex. I'll do the small sewer pump station.
I'll do the wastewater treatment plant. I'm willing to do the roads.
I'll do ambulance with Brian if you want.
I was going to do both ambulances.
Why don't you and I do both?
Together?
Why not?
All right, if
Tag team. It'll be beautiful.
if you want to.
John, did you sign up for the police vehicles?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want that, Paul?
Well, I sit on the police commission.
Go ahead.
It's up to you.
Go ahead, I'll
All right,
defer to you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
I'll do the DPW grant vehicle then instead.
Okay.
I can do sidewalks if nobody else wants to do it. Okay,
So we're going to do the three of them.
so I've got 1, 2, 3.
I can do the community center.
Okay.
Fossfield?
I voted against it, but I'll do it.
That's why I didn't take it.
John, if you want, I can do the Foss Field. 'cause
Why don't you do the Foss?
I'll do the Foss Field because I'm for that.
Linda, you're doing DPW grant vehicle?
Water
Yes, sir.
Resources Capital Reserve?
I'm willing to do that. Why don't I do the water resources? Yeah, I'll do that one, yeah.
Water Treatment Plant?
I'll do that if, no,
Sure.
Expansion of the police commission?
Oh, you want to do that one?
We have to do that?
You,
Jim, do we have to do that?
Somebody should read it in.
I'll read it in.
Veterans tax credit, Brian, you brought that forward. You want that?
You got the,
Yes.
Brian? Police Commission.
I think that's,
What about
go
the
down
people?
through 'em,
The
Jim?
the people's petition?
I don't think we
we
do
don't-
petition
we
the
don't,
warrant
deal with
articles.
those.
Dave, what are you doing?
Should it be read?
Whatever's
It's
left.
75,000.
everything's taken.
Did anybody do the ambulance impact negotiations?
I thought
Me,
that,
me or Dave, or
I'll do the
Why does
impact.
Dave do that?
Dave's going to do it?
Yeah, because he
Brian
was,
and I are going to do staffing and contracted ambulance. Impact will be Dave.
I'm going to do
What about the
road.
ambulance revolving fund?
so Dave, let's have Dave do that so it breaks up.
We'll do the
Okay.
revolving fund.
Which one?
Ambulance impact negotiate, or, excuse me,
Yeah, I'll do
revolving
that
fund. I'll update this with.
Okay,
Paul and Brian
Names
are on the
and send it out
revolving
tomorrow.
fund.
So how many does everybody have here?
I think they're all, I
I've
think,
got 4 here.
I've
Anybody?
Paul and I are sharing 3, and I have 3.
3. I may have 4.
Town road upgrades?
I've got that. I'm going to do the,
Linda has that one?
yep.
You want to do the DPW grant vehicle, Dave?
Yeah, I'll do that one.
Okay.
No, I don't, I'm more than willing to.
So I'm
I think
doing the
that's
small
John.
sewer station, the Clark complex, and the water treatment plant.
I'll,
Are you doing the water treatment or the wastewater? I can do the wastewater. Do you want to do the water and I'll do the wastewater? Okay, let's switch those two.
Hey, Jim, I have a question for you.
hold on. Who's doing wastewater?
I'm going to do wastewater and
Okay.
he's going to do water.
Water.
Okay. Yep, Brian?
I just got a contact from Leanne, and she wants to know what our insurance increase for this year is. Is it 24.9
Yes.
or 20?
What
4.9.
insurance?
Health
What
insurance?
The health insurance. Because John needed it for tonight.
It's
John,
24 and some
0.9.
change. I don't remember
I
what the
bet you,
percentage
I
right
bet
off
you
the
even
top of my
money's
head.
24.9.
Jim, I
remember
have the water resources, capital reserve. We started going, bouncing around. I could,
Yep, I have you listed for that.
okay, all right.
I'll send this out tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you.
As to who I have for what.
Okay, beautiful.
Good. Got it. Thank you. What else we got?
Okay. Next on our agenda is public comment. If,
Carol,
You broke it.
Carol McMahon. I just have a comment regarding John's proposed warrant article. I understand the purpose of it and going forward with the larger plan. Do you think you should mention that the CIP has 4.4 million, 4.5 million, or whatever it is in place for that?
So, no, I can't respond.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Thanks.
Oh, I'd like to thank Brian, too, for the work on getting that revised warrant article wording for the renovation at the community center. It's a lot more clear than those other things.
Thank you.
you'll entertain a motion,
I have one thing before any other business.
sure.
I don't know where we are needing to decide on the annual report. We've had a couple of drafts, and can we wait till the January 21st meeting to address that?
Amy says yes.
Yeah, okay, I just want to make sure we're not,
Ken? We're good?
she's saying, yeah, we're not causing any problems with
We
that.
good?
Dave, I have something.
Yes, Amy said yes.
Well, that, we have permission.
Dave, I have something.
What's that?
I have other business.
Okay.
So, as you know, I had a comment at the last meeting, and I asked the town manager to respond to an email I sent to him on December 18th about a sewer smell emanating from a source on town property at the town docks flowing into the Lake Winnipesaukee. My question is, Jim, what are you doing about it right now? Should we allow a little sewer to run into the Lake Winnipesaukee water body or not at all? Yesterday, the Waters Committee met and the Chairman, Linda Murray, included an item on the agenda, dockside issue with broken pipe. I wasn't quite sure what that meant, but when I sat down, I was asked if I received the report from the state. My reply was no. Jim never sent it to me. Director of Public Works, Steve Randall, made light of it. Discussion followed, and this is what I heard. Mr. Randall questioned whether the stream of fluid ever came out of the source where I mentioned it did. I heard him also say he questioned the test results from the state because it could be a dead mouse up the source where the smell was emanating from. I replied to him, it was like when a septic tank cover is lifted off a septic tank. I heard him question if the E. coli test was animal or human because a DNA test was not performed. I heard him say he didn't find the source of the origins. I heard him say we aren't investigating further anymore in the parking lot. I then looked at the Chairman Murray, and what I didn't hear her say was we should continue to work to find the source. I didn't hear her say we should do an E. coli test to determine if it's animal or human DNA. Later during the meeting, I heard the Waters Chairman accept a motion to create a process of septic system inspections in the Shorefront Residential District for all residential properties. I didn't hear the Chairman say that the town of Wolfeboro should lead by example. Currently, the leader of the town of Wolfeboro is the town manager, James Pinio. We all have an obligation to the people who elect us. You cannot allow us to turn a blind eye to solving problems that degrade water quality, like the problem that was discovered with this sewer smell and fluid source. Our people are watching us closely. To date, the meeting clip from January 7th Select Board meeting has been reviewed over 600 times and 250 times just on Sunday. It's been 26 days with no response to my email from Jim. I'm going to read Mrs. Murray's
Why don't
notes.
if you're going to read I'll read my own note.
I'm not
Okay.
finished. So after the meeting this morning, I received notes from the Wolfeboro Waters meeting regarding John Thurston issue at Dockside. John Thurston first brought up the issue at Dockside smell at the Wolfeboro Waters meeting on November 17th, 2025. At the time, nothing was known, and John wanted the committee to be proactive. John did not attend the December Wolfeboro meeting, and that meeting was asked if you would be able to attend. I said I wouldn't be able to attend, the date wasn't set. Nor did he provide any written information to the committee on the Dockside smell issue, and I hadn't received any anyway. And I emailed Steve Randall and Jim Pinio the morning of January 12th requesting the water evaluation report that John Thurston had cited on the January 7th Select Board meeting, which he said was taken to see what was causing the smell down at the town docks of Wolfeboro Bay. Mid-morning, I received a report from Steve Randall, Eurofins Environmental Testing, which was an analytical report generated on November 18th. Prepared for Josh Thomas, the report showed high levels of coliform fecal. At the Wolfeboro Waters meeting at 1 o'clock at the Pop Whalen Arena Art Center, Steve explained that his department visited Dockside and collected a water sample. They also sent a camera up the 4-inch pipe to the foundation of the building that it was coming from. The camera showed animal fecal matter. Steve guessed it could be rats in the pipe since there was rats in the area. The flow from the pipe was very small, but they capped it, which most likely is a drainage pipe from one of the buildings. Steve stated that the town went into basements of Peter Ford building and found no sump pumps. The committee was informed that all the sewer pipes run out of the front of the building. The Wolfeboro Waters Committee established a subgroup to examine possible drainage solutions for Dockside. So to that point, I suppose if you were to kind of camera up and you knew that the pipe was on this survey map, and you went up that pipe and it got stopped, you would have to question whether or not it was fecal matter, it was a rat, or if it was actually a check valve that would keep the lake from going up into the basement of one of those buildings. I was there and doing some work down there. The people came out of the building when they were doing the work. I saw the sump pump in the building, 20 feet up the left side of the building in the ground. So I'm not saying that Steve didn't get in there, but maybe he didn't get a chance to see the sump pump. But the people are still watching on this matter. I think we should give them some results. It's all yours, Linda.
Yeah, thank you for reading what I was going to read, which is my email. And I sent that to the town manager. I want to point out that John is a member of the Wolfeboro Waters Committee. The Wolfeboro Waters Committee works as a group. At any time, he could have asked and brought that up to the group, and we could have talked about all the issues that he just stated. I'm not a dictator. I asked him to be part of this group. We were talking about drainage, and I said to him, John, when you have material you want on the agenda, send it to me, because that's how I get the material for the agenda. My Mitigation and Prevention Committee sends the stuff to me, the same with communication, and the same with assessment. So pointing out that I am the problem of why Wolfeboro Waters doesn't do all that he would like. He is a sitting member, and nobody stopped him from asking all the questions that he is now saying to you we should have addressed.
All right. Anything else,
Yeah.
Brian?
So what hit me was that I didn't find out about this issue until our last board meeting. So I end up finding out that John was a co-chair on the dockside committee and was there, and that pipe was known that it existed then. It was broken by Luke Freudenberg's crew. John knew that it was broken at that time. He saw that the pipe was there. He's known that it's been there for 4 or 5 years. This is all information that I was told by the people who were there at the time that it was broken. And that I don't understand why I'm finding out about it now when it could have been brought to me over the last 2 months. And it's really a shame, because then I'm sitting here and I'm going, I don't know what's going on, because I wasn't informed by anybody involved in this process, and I don't understand that at all.
So I'll respond to you, Brian. So the pipe that was broken off was inside the downtown grill. And when the contractor came out, when I was doing the work down there, he said the sewer pipe was broken off. It's been running into the basement for how long? But I was on the impression, when I told the planner, Tavis Austin, I said, you probably should get down there and do some inspections see what's going on down there. And when they did the work in the basement, it was all hands off. So that's where the pipe was broken. And when Luke Freudenberg came in front of us, I think what he said to us was, when I did the cofferdam for the boat ramp, yeah, it was spewing out this foul smell, and this water was coming out of that pipe then. And so I am on the docks committee, and I sent Amy Muccio, the secretary, all the minutes, which shows how I was trying to do stormwater management, how I was reaching out to engineers to create systems, and how I was trying to solve the problems down there in the dockside parking lot. In one of those emails, Dave Ford said, we did the design on the parking lot, but the design was for $100,000 for stormwater drainage, and it was removed. Doesn't say why it was removed, but it was removed. So you'll get a complete packet of all the communications, all the dock committee meeting minutes, and everything pertinent to that subject.
Okay. Any other business? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Don't forget the Budget Committee meeting at 7 o'clock.
6:30. Yeah, 7.
Hey,
7.
Jim,